Hi everyone, Liane here. I hope you're doing well. I recently did a stationery haul for Japan in my previous video, and I'll have that linked in the cards above, but also in the description box below. So today's the day that I'm going to be showing you all the lovely inks. I'll be swatching them, providing writing samples as well, and I'll provide some close-ups as well, kind of intermittently throughout the video. And also at the end of the video, I do want to show you this. This is a follow-up from the stationery haul from Japan, and a viewer actually told me that it's not an incense holder, it's something else. So I'm going to show you this at the end, especially for those of you that are here to watch the currently inked. I'll do the currently inked, and at the end, I'll show you what this is actually used for. So stay tuned for that. Let's see, where shall we begin? You know what, I'll probably show you the ink that I've been most excited about. I didn't expect to like it so much, but it's this one. This is Bungu Box's Sanctuary Blue. It was an ink that I wasn't planning on getting because I really thought that I didn't really like blue inks to begin with, but I thought, you know what, let me just try to get an ink that I don't usually get because I normally get purples and browns. It's probably one of my favorite inks so far. And before I get started with the swatching, I got a lot of questions about this notebook. This is the Hobonichi A5 plain notebook. I also have it covered in the Midori A5 plastic cover as well. I also have just an extra sheet of paper just behind the sheet that I do the swatches so that it doesn't kind of manipulate or warp the other page right behind it, because it does get slightly damp. This is a brass clip that I got from the Starbucks Reserve Roastery in Tokyo. So I'll be using that to keep the pages open. Also, today I'm not going to be using my glass teaspoon, but what I will be using is the Kakimori brass pen, or the brass nib. And it's going to be mounted on the cherry wood holder as well, also by Kakimori. So let's go ahead and get started with Sanctuary Blue. Okay, just wanted to make sure that the focus was working today. Sanctuary Blue is an ink that I'm actually quite surprised that I liked. And I think the reason why that I like this so much is because it's not super bright blue, but it's almost like a blue-black. Okay. It's beautiful. It is like a blue-black. This is Bungu Box. Let's move this dish. Bungu Box. Sanctuary Blue. But do you see how deep and saturated this ink is? Okay, there's that. And this month, it's currently inked in my Platinum Preppy per Pan-Up. And this is in a 03 nib. That's also a fine nib. Platinum Preppy per Pan-Up. And you can see that inked in this pen, it's definitely a little bit lighter than the Kakimori brass nib, just because I think the brass nib puts down so much ink because of, I think it's got like 8 capillary slits. It just puts down so much ink all at once. So it's definitely a bit darker, more saturated. But then here in a fine nibbed pen, you can see that it comes out just slightly lighter. And this ink is gorgeous because it kind of looks like almost like a teal black, but it's a blue, but it's this deep, dark blue, and I love it so much. So this is Bungu Box Sanctuary Blue, inked in my Platinum Preppy per Pan-Up in a fine nib. Okay, so I'll do a little close-up here. And I'll also provide a completely dry ink swatch as well. You know what, why don't I also do this? Okay. The next ink is going to be the other Bungu Box ink, and this is in Sweet Potato Purple. I bought these inks in store in their brick and mortar shop in Jimbocho, which is the neighborhood that the Bungu Box brick and mortar store is located. And I really like this ink as well. Look at that. It's just so beautiful and rich. Okay, Bungu Box. Oh, I love it so much. I love how rich and saturated these inks are. And that's what I'm finding, is that I do tend to gravitate towards just the deep, dark inks. Oh, I also wanted to say that this pen holder is made by Fountain Pendulum. Love it. You can see that it's kind of gotten some ink in there, some staining, but that I think is what makes it just even more charming, just because you know that you're using it and using it well. Okay, and this one is inked in the Platinum Preppy, and it's got the Bungu Box branding there. I did also buy this in person at the brick and mortar store in Tokyo. And this is also in 03, a fine nib. Okay. Platinum Preppy. And this is just the beauty of fountain pens and inks, is that you can swatch it and it comes out, you know, a certain level of saturation and character. And then depending on the ink that you have the pen, or that the ink, or depending on the pen that you have it inked in, it just shows ever so slightly. There's just like a slight change. And that is the journey of the fountain pen hobby. Is I'm not always going to have this ink paired with this pen. And in a different sort of pen, it's definitely going to show up a little bit more different. And then not only that, it also depends on the paper as well. So there is that. I think those two colors together are just so gorgeous. Do a close-up. Oh, beautiful. Okay, the next ink will be another Bungu Box ink. I might as well, should just have them swatched all side by side. This is Latin Quarter Jimbocho, and Jimbocho is the, like I said, the name of the neighborhood that Bungu Box is located in. And this is the ink that I trekked all the way to the store to get, because this is a store exclusive. You can't buy this online. It's not available anywhere else. I went there and they were sold out. So I was pretty disappointed that I wasn't able to get the ink in person, but when I went to the San Francisco Pen Show, I did see the owner, the founder and owner of the shop, you know, at their table at the Fountain Pen Show, and yeah, that's how I was able to acquire it. I sent them payment, and then when they got back to Japan, they mailed this to me. Just, they basically honored the fact that I was there in person and that I would have purchased it if I was there. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bungu Box. Okay, this is Latin Quarter. Look how rich that is. Definitely like dark academia vibes. Oh, I love it. Okay, this is And in my, where do I have it inked in? Oh, I have it inked in a Kaweco Dia 2. It's in an extra fine nib. And in that pen, I mean, it looks almost nearly black. This is the Kaweco Dia. Is it a Dia 2? A Kaweco Dia 2. And this is in an extra fine nib. And I just love how small the nib is. It's the same sort of nib size that you'll find in their Kaweco Classic Sports. And look how fine that line is. I really, really love it. Okay. And some people have been asking, well, how else am I using my fountain pens when I'm not really using it in the Hobonichi A6 planners like I used to? And especially since Hobonichi changed up their paper. And I will tell you in just a second because I have the notebook that I've been using it in. But see, as you can tell in the ink swatch here, you could see that it leans a little bit brown. But truly, when I'm writing and journaling with this ink, it looks nearly black. But look at that. It's just so beautiful, so dark, so rich, so saturated. That's Bungu Box Latin Quarter. I did want to show you, actually, I'll tell you maybe more about it at the end, but I have been writing using my fountain pens in this Leuchtturm notebook, and I really enjoyed it because you really get a lot of auditory feedback. You hear the scratching noises, the feedback there. It's been a different experience, and I'll also kind of show you more at the end of the video as well. So stay tuned for that. Let's go with my two TAG Stationery Kyo Iro inks. These are inks that I got in Kyoto, and they were unexpected purchases because I didn't think I had enough time to be able to go to the TAG Stationery shops in Kyoto because we were only there for, I think it was like a night. And so on the one day that I was able to go to the stationery shops, I only had time, I thought, to go to the Traveler's Company shop in Kyoto. But on my way there, unexpectedly, I took a turn and I was walking down the street and I really just came upon the TAG Stationery shop. So I was so happy, so happy. And it was there that I bought not my singular, but it was there that I got kind of a nicer fountain pen. This one is Stone Road of Gon. And I'll tell you more about the pens and the inks that I've paired, the pen and ink pairings. This one is currently inked in my Lamy 2000, and there's more to that story. I do have to say that it's my least favorite pen and ink combination. But that doesn't mean that I don't like the ink, and it doesn't mean that I don't like the pen either, because I really love this ink. And just writing with the Kakimori brass nib, you can just see, I can tell that it's just a drier ink. Stone Road of Gon. Yeah, can you tell just that it writes a finer line? So the ink itself is really beautiful, and I have noticed that it is just a drier ink. And so it's not a winning combination with my Lamy 2000, unfortunately. I'll just have to give this ink another try in a different pen. I have this inked in my Lamy 2000, and this is a San Francisco Pen Show acquisition. And I'll also provide a video about my San Francisco Pen Show haul in another video. But this pen, I did buy this from Kristen from Life Inspired Design. Hi Kristen, if you're seeing this. And this is a pen that is absolutely delightful. It's a pen that I've been wanting to get, and just by happenstance, we were talking about what pens we got at the show, and I was telling her that I was eyeing this Lamy 2000, And she's like, I have a Lamy 2000 that I'm actually wanting to sell. And so later that night, we met up in the lobby and she got, and yeah, I got this pen from her. So I really love it. I mean, already it's inked with the dry ink. So I'm not very happy with this pen and ink combination. Lamy 2000 in extra fine. And you can see that it comes out considerably lighter inked in this pen. I previously had this pen inked with a Pilot Iroshizuku ink, and I really liked it better, the writing experience. But unfortunately, with this pen and ink combination, it's just not a good combination, and it's been my least favorite out of this month's currently inked, unfortunately. Let me do a close-up. That is Stone Road of Gon. I mean, it's got beautiful shading. It's just a little too light for me and a little too dry. So the next Kyo Ito ink is Cherry Blossom of KAG. And I got this ink because I wanted to pair it specifically with this pen, and this is the pen that I got at the Tag Stationery shop in Kyoto. I normally, as you might notice, I normally get a lot of neutral toned pens, and to make it memorable, I wanted to get a pen that I thought was, you know, just something that I normally wouldn't get, and I'm not normally in Japan. So this is just a beautiful pink sort of demonstrator. It's like a clear, transparent body. It's not necessarily a demonstrator pen, or is it a demonstrator pen if it's clear? But anyway, it's got an ink converter, rose gold detailing. Absolutely love it, and it is the Platinum Century 3776, 14 karat gold nib, and it's in a medium nib. And oh, let me swatch the ink first. But with this pen, oh, sorry, the colorway is Lilas. Just look how rich and beautiful. I mean, it's not a very dark ink, but I think the color, it's so beautiful, romantic. I really enjoyed writing with this pen and ink. Okay, this is I meant to say Cherry Blossom of KAG. It's not as saturated as the other inks, but yet you can, I mean, it's still got some presence, some substance, and I really am very pleased. And it's inked with my Platinum 3776 in Lilas. It's not a store exclusive, but it is the pen that I did want to get when I was there. Let's see. And look at that. To me, the pen writing sample matches the ink swatching sample. Platinum Century 376 in a medium. It's smooth and it's got just the slightest bit of feedback. And it showcases the ink quite beautifully, in my opinion. Much better than the Lamy 2000 with Stone Road of Gon. I bet if I were to ink this pen with this ink of Stone Road of Gon, the ink would show up differently in the writing sample. But really, I mean, if you look at the ink swatch and the writing sample with a pen, I mean, the ink, it really seems like there's no difference. Beautiful, beautiful combination. Let me do a close-up. Beautiful shading ink. I mean, these two inks are beautiful, beautiful shaders. There's that. And then, let's see. think I have, oh, I have 2 more inks. Okay, this is also a great ink. I mean, I think all of these inks are some of my favorites in my entire pen collection or my ink collection. This is actually the first stationery purchase that I made in Tokyo, in Japan. And this is the Kingdom Note exclusive ink. And I didn't even know the name of this ink because it was all written in Japanese. There was no English translation of this ink name. But after doing a lot of research online, I have found that it is kind of a rough translation is grape dyed small cloak. So it's like a grape dyed garment that one would wear when they wear kind of your traditional Japanese clothing. It's like an inner garment that you would wear. Not an undergarment, but it's like almost kind of maybe like an equivalent to a vest underneath a suit. Anyway, that's my guess. But if any of you know more about this particular ink, please let me know. And please leave a comment as well so that all of us can also know more about it. Okay, I'm running out of space here. Okay. Look at how saturated this ink is. You know, it actually reminds me of the Lamy, is it Blackberry? And the Black Lilac, I'm forgetting the name of that ink now, but it's a cult favorite. But anyway, I love this ink so much. It's a Kingdom Note Sailor ink, grape dyed small cloak. Oh, this is also a really lovely ink. And it's got a beautiful sheen to it as well. As dark as it is, to me, it's also very electric. It's also very bright. And I've really been enjoying this pen and ink combination as well. And I have it inked in the Lamy Safari. I thought this was an Itoya exclusive. It is not, but it is exclusive to certain or select Asia markets. So this is something that you cannot get in the US, or you can't get it here in North America, but you can get it in certain markets in Asia. I love this. I mean, anything with like a gold detail here, because normally they're either black or silver, like stainless steel, or sometimes it matches the pen body, but they don't come out with a lot of gold clipped Lamy Safaris. Lamy Safari. And this is in a medium nib. So it's been quite juicy. Actually paired with this ink, which I think is quite wet. It's a little of a wet writer, so I have to write quite quickly or else I think it starts to bleed into the paper. So I would probably ink this in like an extra fine Lamy Safari, but I think with the medium nib, it's a very juicy writer, and you pair it with this very wet ink, and it distributes, it releases the ink quite quickly, almost as if I had it kind of swatched with the Kakimori brass nib. But I have really enjoyed writing with this pen and ink. Very saturated. These have to be some of my favorite inks. I know I've said it before, but I absolutely love it so much. Yeah, I don't know if you can see how it sheens a little bit, but it's got like this, I don't know if you call it like a green gold sheen, but so beautiful. And I'm curious to know, I don't have Blackberry, Lamy Blackberry, or that lilac color, but I'm curious how it compares to those inks. And then last but not least is a Kobe ink, and I did buy this in Itoya. And this one is Ginza Gold. And this is a collaboration with Kobe, Nagasawa Kobe Inks with Itoya. And it's supposed to have this sort of kind of vintage vintage glamour. I don't know if glamour is really that word. I would say it's more of like a discriminating vintage inspired ink. And I really like this ink. It's really, really beautiful. Okay. Ginza Gold Sepia is the name. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It reminds me of kind of the deeper gold inks, but also it reminds me of like a deeper version of Inaho. There's green and it's like a greenish gold, brownish ink, but it's very vibrant and it's so beautiful. Okay, this is Kobe and Itoya. Ginza Gold Sepia. Beautiful. Okay, and I have this ink inked in my Leonardo Momento Zero in Foresta Umbra. And I really thought that this sort of pen body with the greens and the browns would be a perfect combination. And this is in a fine nib. Very beautiful. Okay, I have no space down here. Okay, Leonardo. And this has also been a really nice combination. There's no skipping. Really, I would say out of all of these pairings, the only combination that has given me trouble has been Stone Road of Gon with Alami 2000 in extra fine. But this is the Kobe Nagasawa inks and Itoya collaboration, Ginza Gold Sepia, and then it's inked in the Leonardo Momento in Foresta Umbra. But look at that, so beautiful. All right, so I did want to show you how I have been using up my fountain pens. So what I've been doing is I've been writing down lyrics to two artists actually just recently. I recently went to a Mitski concert with my daughter, and as a way to prepare for the concert, I wrote down all the lyrics to the songs on her set list. And so all using different inks and pens. And this is in the previous, I think, pen and ink combinations that I used. So anyway, this is all Mitski, and that's been really nice. And then we are going to the Billie Eilish concert in a couple of months. And so what I've been using, it has been this month's currently inked. So this would be the Kaweco Dia with the Latin Quarters Bungo Box ink. This one is Sanctuary Blue, Bungo Box Sanctuary Blue with my Platinum Preppy Perpanip. But just look at that, it's so beautiful. It's like a dark teal black. That's been really nice. This one was Stone Road of Gon, L'amour de ma vie. That's one of my favorite songs of hers right now on that album. This was okay. It was just a dry writing experience, so not my favorite. This one is Cherry of KAG with the Platinum Century 3776. This is really nice. The shading is very, very nice. This one, which one is this one? Let me see. Oh, this is, I had J. Herbon's Lis d'été inked in my Traveler's Company brass pen in Factory Green, and this was also really nice. See, this again is Latin Quarter Bungo Box. Oops. Okay, let me move this way actually, because I want to show you Sweet Potato Purple and the grape dyed small cloak as well. This one is Ginza Gold Sepia. That was really nice, especially in my Leuchtturm. This one is the, Ebizome no Kochiki. And this ink is part of the Genji Monogatari series. Oh, and I also happen to write it down here, which is great. Based on the famous early 11th century Japanese novel, Tale of Genji. And this is an interesting fact that I learned. Tale of Genji was written by Lady Murasaki. Oh my goodness. It was one of the inks. Murasaki Shikibu. Murasaki Shikibu is not only the ink to, or the name to the purple ink in the Pilot Iro Shizuku ink line, but it's also, they were inspired by Murasaki Shikibu, who is the author, the woman, the lady Murasaki Shikibu who wrote Tale of Genji. So anyway, this is the ink with, what is it? It's the Lamy Safari. Beautiful. And I really enjoyed and am enjoying the ink and pen combination in this pen or in this paper. This is Sanctuary Blue. Once again, I really like writing with that. And then this is Sweet Potato Purple in my Platinum Preppy. Yeah, I've really been enjoying writing with my Platinum Preppies. They are, I think, my favorite affordable pen, fountain pen. Latin Quarter again. Oh, this is Diatramentis Jane Austen in my Opus 88 Clear Demonstrator. Yeah, but anyway, so these are some writing samples in my Leuchtturm that I've really been enjoying, and I think with all of my other journals that I have sitting on my shelf, this is how I like to. It's really right now my favorite way of writing with my fountain pens. Yeah, so that's been really fun. And then last but not least, I want to show you what this actually is. I thought it was an incense holder, and I will leave their the commenter's name down below, but I just want to say thank you so much because they told me that they think it's actually a water dropper. So I want to demonstrate to you how to use this. Maybe this is too narrow, so let me grab a bowl. Okay, so what you do, you submerge this water dropper in a bowl of water. So adorable. And then what you do is then you, of course, you dry it. And you're probably wondering, what is this water dropper for? So, okay, so let me just show you. So then once it's filled, what you do is you pour it, but also thing is that you can use this to plug it up. So I guess when I plug it up, a drop does not a single drop comes out. But what I do is you release it ever so slightly. You just release it and it lets out a quick stream of water. And this is what you use, I think, not I think, but you use this in calligraphy. So not only does Kyoto sell incense and stationery products, of course, they also have Japanese calligraphy as well. So they have these beautiful calligraphy brushes and ink sticks as well. But what you do is when you grind and make your own ink using the ink sticks and adding some water into this sort of like ink stone or ink dish, you grind it. You need a little bit of water, just the tiniest bit of water. And what you do is then if you need to either reconstitute some dried ink or you just need to add a little bit more water to it, what you do is then you take one of these beautiful water droppers and it dispenses just the general amount of ink water that you need. So that makes me makes me so happy because I did not expect to get something for calligraphy. And this is something that I've been actually wanting to return to get into Korean calligraphy. So anyway, I'm really, really delighted to know that this is a water dropper. And I hope that that was something that was really interesting to you, because it's so interesting and delightful for me. So anyway, thanks so much for watching to the end. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.